no plans at all. Evil man's always transcending. Fighter like sheep, swallow everything. Always simpletons or pretending.
This is your moment of clarity, coming to you today from Edinburgh, Scotland. The other day, NASA released a temperature rise video that I've given the name We're Fucked by 2100. Too subtle? The We're Fucked video shows what the Earth will be like if the CO2 in the atmosphere continues on its current path, and it makes the problems in the movie Independence Day seem downright manageable. Now don't worry, here's the part of the video where I say we can handle this. And it's true, it would only take a small percentage of the population to bring about all the change we need, but only if we get off our fucking asses and do it now. And the most exciting part about this is it gives us a chance to test the Pentagon's ability to deal with our dissent. You see, Guardian News is reporting that the Pentagon is gearing up for increased public fury over oncoming climate and energy madness. Geez, I wonder what gave them the idea that we might start to get a little restless. Was it the fucking tornado/forest fire that just wound its way through that dude's living room that you thought might cause tempers to run a little high? Was it the fact that that other guy's Jack Russell Terrier just got sucked up into the eye of a hurricane that made you think we might get a little red under the collar? Or was it when that pickup truck from 3 towns over landed on my neighbor that made you think I might just lose it a little? And of course, the mere idea of the Pentagon, of our government preparing to defend itself against the American people is, how shall I put this, a little disturbing. But that's for another video. The question here is, what do we do about climate change? You and I are just normal people trying to get by. You just want to relax with some pinkberry and some Cadbury and some Manilow, berry. We all do. But this first part is really easy. Just talk about this NASA report. Keep it in the top of people's minds. Large change only happens when we reach a cultural tipping point, and like a fat kid on a seesaw, some people have more effect on the tipping than others. But every kid still makes a difference. Of course, sometimes it's tough talking about all this shit because it doesn't make you fun to be around. I'll be honest, at dinner parties, people scoot away from me like I just farted and it sounded like Ann Coulter's audiobook. And it's even weirder than regular weird for me because I'm a comedian, so people are excited at first, like baby birds that have just been delivered a heaping serving of mama regurgitated worm parts, or like a dog stumbling into another dog's butt. Like, wow, check this out, this is a butt I've never known before. Cool. That's what it's like. You're a comedian? Wow. What kind of things do you talk about on stage? Like marriage stuff? Like stuff about how Hispanic people are funny? Or what? And I'm like, well, my last podcast was about child soldiers. And also I interviewed the widow of the dude who was shot 7 times by the FBI, once in the back of the head. And then they do an awkward chuckle, but still try to hold the conversation together like Superman with the train going over his back while he bridges the hole in the overpass. They're clinging on. They're like, oh, well, I guess he must have done something pretty bad to be shot all those times. Nope, he was unarmed, just sitting there. Before I know it, I've got a young soccer mom downing vodka's no chaser just to dull the pain of my comedy, the anguish of talking to a modern-day jester. It's like meeting a juggler who only juggles human heads. I'm like, I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry. I made you cry so much. We can talk about something less depressing than my comedy, like Syria. So anyway, the point is, I know it can be uncomfortable to talk about this stuff, but you know what's more uncomfortable? That's been your moment of clarity from LeeCamp.net. The music here at the end is by Lauren Clark. His information is in the description. Also, if any musicians out there want to create an intro song for the Moment of Clarity podcast, I'll be taking submissions for maybe a month or so. Also, it only has to be 30 seconds long and include the name Moment of Clarity in it. All submissions will be played on the podcast. Send it to LeeCampMail, M-A-I-L, @gmail.com. Lastly, I'm playing the Edinburgh Fringe Fest this entire month. Hope you'll come to the show if you're around. Keep fighting.
If we should stop this war, my friend, do you believe that the killing will never end? That we'd just be wasting all that money we spent if we should stop this war?